Just don't let us look stupid.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Have you ever made milkshakes out of snow? If I was a writer, I'd be dangerous.
Monday, and we're going back to school as we have all winter long, talking to baseball coaches, softball coaches around the country, and it's our bad for not involving Division II programs in this. I know your vision for this was junior college, Division II, Division I. We're going to fix that to a degree today by welcoming in a guy who not only played in the big leagues but worked as a coach with the Rockies for a long, long time, and I'll assume as we bring in University of Colorado Springs head baseball coach Dave Hajek, that Haji, the time with the Rockies kind of opened the door at college for you and brought you back to University of Colorado. Good to see you, first of all. Good morning.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Is that the way it went? Your time with the Rockies kind of led you to where you've been now for the better part of a decade?
Yeah, I'd say so. I was with the Rockies for 12 years, and it was kind of a meant-to-be situation. This University of Colorado, did not have a baseball program. But my off-season home was here. I got to know the athletic director and always talked about, hey, love it to be considered if you guys ever got a program here. And, we were finishing up the season in Albuquerque, fall of 15, and I got a text message, hey, UCCS got a baseball program. And then 3 days later, the Rockies said, we are not going to bring you back. So it really was a perfect scenario, and was able to start a Division II program right here in my hometown, Colorado Springs. So it's been a great experience.
How hard was it to start a startup?
It was a lot. It was a lot. The good thing is they gave me about 9 months, so I had time. I was hired on winter of 15, and we weren't going to start our group until fall of 16. So I was able to have 9 months to kind of get to know the regulations of the NCAA, get to know recruiting, get to know everything about college baseball, because I hadn't really been in it since my playing days.
So I want to talk about the recruiting part of it for you, Dave, because we were just talking off air that you do a lot of recruiting in your backyard in Colorado and a lot out west. Tell us about that breakdown.
It's like anything. When you start into a new industry, you hit up your network. And 22 years in the pro side of the game, I built up a nice network. And as soon as I got this job, I just started making calls. And everybody in our sport works with young people in the off seasons. So I heard I got a guy a lot that winter, and it was great. I was able to hit up old contacts who had young men who maybe were a little bit under the radar, under recruited. And that's the kind of athlete you're going to get at the Division II level. They're maybe late bloomers. They're under the radar, if you will, but they're hungry for an opportunity. They're hungry to play ball. And so we've got about 50% Colorado young men that are, looking for a place to play. And then, as I stated, my roots are out west. So we go out and hit up California and the West Coast as much as we can.
In that same vein, since COVID, did you get a little bump up in talent with more kids coming to play Division II instead of with so many doors in Division I overflowing, so to speak?
Everybody's a little bit different. COVID kind of affected everybody different. It really hit our recruiting budget. I did get a few guys out of the transfer portal, but I didn't hit it up like a free agent wire. We're still looking for young men out of high school to develop. As evidenced by our current roster, we've got 22 underclassmen on our roster right now, so we're a young group. But yeah, it affected everything a little bit, because you've got young men that are going to be in their 6th year of college and still have eligibility left. So the recruiting landscape has definitely been changed by COVID.
Hey, how much of your experiences with your kids, with your players, Dave, have you used your own personal experiences as a guy that was in the pro game for so long? And I'll just, for example, when you were the infield coordinator with the Rockies and you had guys like Arenado and LeMahieu, do you ever talk to those players about your kids at school?
I'm not in touch with those guys, but I'll throw a name out here and there. That some of this information that you are hearing as a 18-year-old student athlete is the same information that DJ LeMahieu and Nolan Arenado were working on several years ago before they cracked into the major leagues. So it definitely helps with the recruiting aspect, having that background. And kind of relating my own experiences is I was a Division II walk-on and went to Cal Poly Pomona down in Los Angeles. And so a lot of these guys I was in their same shoes, 30 plus years ago.
Yeah, that's really cool. Talk to me about your facilities. We're looking at the field behind you. Obviously, every kid's wondering, how do I get better? So tell us a little bit about your facilities and what you're kind of coaching in the program there.
Our first year starting this thing in 2017, we did not even have a field on campus. So we were kind of scrambling around town, and we practiced at 7 different places in year number 1. And that inflatable bubble right here behind me was a godsend from In Motion Air. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
We packed it up in the back of one of our boys' trucks, and he took it with us everywhere we practiced, from the Air Force Academy to indoor facilities, to a city park, to the AAA stadium out here. So we were all over the map in year 1. But year 2, they built us this gorgeous facility behind me. Great piece of real estate. It's all turf. Even when we get inclement weather around here, it dries off real quickly, and we can get out there and practice. And it's been a rough winter this year, and I think we've been inside 3 times. So we've been able to get out on this surface and practice in some tough conditions and get us ready for this season.
All right, you guys got a little 5-game winning streak going. I'm looking at the schedule here, Haji. Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference play begins this weekend. What are your chances within the conference? How do you rate your own program?
I put us right in the middle of the pack right now. When we started, we jumped right into the middle of the pack. We were very competitive early on, and then we made a gradual ascent to the top. We won our tournament championship in our 5th year. As I mentioned, we've got some youth on the roster this year, so we're developing some young guys. But we're right in the middle of the pack after a non-conference schedule. We got our closest rivalry, CSU Pueblo, coming up this weekend here at home. So it's going to be exciting right from the gate, and we've got some really competitive teams in this conference. Colorado Mesa has been near the top for years. Pueblo was up at the top for a while, and they're battling like we are right now. And so there's really good teams in this conference, and should be very exciting.
Awesome. Happy for your success, man. Good to see you. Thanks for taking some time with us, and we wish you and your program the best. Dave Hajek joining us from Colorado Springs. Way to go, Dave.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.